I began to lose time. Hours vanished. Sometimes entire days slipped away, leaving behind only exhaustion and the taste of metal in my mouth. I would wake up sitting in a chair I didn't remember moving to, or standing in the shower with cold water running over me, my skin pale and wrinkled like I had been there too long. The ring was heavier now, not physically something deep, like it was pulling me inward. I stopped checking the news. I didn't want to see Daniel's face. I didn't want to see the word missing turn into something worse. But the city didn't let me forget. People started dying nearby. Not loudly, not dramatically. Quiet deaths. A man found in his apartment with no injuries, his face twisted in terror. A woman who collapsed in the street, her heart simply stopping. No connection, no explanation, except for one detail. Every death happened close to places I had been during my missing hours. I felt it. When they died, a brief warmth in my chest. A release, like a breath I didn't know I was holding. I vomited the first time it happened. Vanessa watched me from the doorway, unmoved. "You're feeding," she said. I didn't agree to this. She smiled faintly. "You keep saying that." That night, she brought someone with her. A man stood behind her, thin and nervous, eyes darting around the room. He looked human, but something about him was wrong. His shadow lagged behind his movements, bending the wrong way. "This is Elias," Vanessa said. "He belongs to another." "Elias? Wouldn't look at me." "He can see you," Vanessa told him. He shook violently. "You're not supposed to be awake yet," he whispered. "You're still new." I tried to speak, but my throat felt tight. "He's bleeding into our side," Vanessa continued. "The mark is opening him." Elias finally looked at my hand. "Terring, a scream. The sound was sharp and sudden, cutting through my skull. I clutched my head as something inside me reacted. Anger, hunger, curiosity. Vanessa didn't stop it. Elias fell to his knees, clutching his chest, gasping. Dark veins spread across his neck. "Make it stop," he begged. "Please." "Primera, didn't." I didn't have to. The pain in his eyes mirrored something deep inside me, and then he collapsed, unmoving. I stared at his body. What did I do? Primera whispered. Vanessa knelt beside me. "You spoke without words," she said. "You reached." I shook uncontrollably. She leaned close. "Soon, you won't need me to guide you." After she left, the apartment felt crowded. I could sense shapes in the corners, presences pressing against the walls, curious and patient. They weren't entering. They were waiting for permission. I locked myself in the bathroom and sat on the floor until morning. When I finally emerged, the body was gone. No blood, no sign anyone had been there. Only a faint smell of incense and a new line carved into the mark on my chest, fresh and red. Something had been added, something permanent. I stopped counting the days. Time felt soft, unreliable, like something that bent when I tried to hold it. The sun rose and set, but it no longer meant anything. The apartment stayed dim, even in daylight, shadows stretching in places they shouldn't exist. The mark on my chest had grown. The symbols were no longer random lines. They formed patterns now, deep and deliberate, like words written in a language carved directly into my skin. Sometimes they moved slightly when I breathed, tightening, adjusting, as if they were learning my body. The whispers had changed too. They were clearer. "Open the door. Let us see you. Let us remember what you will become." I ignored them, or tried to. Vanessa came less often now. When she did, she watched more than she spoke. Her silence felt heavier than her words ever had. It made me feel like she was waiting for something to finish growing inside me. One night, I woke up standing in the hallway outside my apartment. I didn't remember leaving my bed. The corridor lights flickered slowly above me, buzzing like dying insects. The air smelled wet, like earth after rain. My bare feet were cold against the floor. I wasn't alone. At the far end of the hallway, a door stood open. The apartment had been empty for months. I knew that. I had seen it myself. Inside, candles burned, blue flames. Blue flames. My body moved without asking me. One step, then another. The ring pulsed faster with each movement, guiding me like a leash. The apartment was bare, except for the candles arranged in a circle on the floor. In the center of that circle lay photographs, dozens of them. Everyone showed me. Sleeping, walking, sitting, standing at windows, crying, smiling beside Vanessa. Some photos were old, taken before I ever met her. Childhood pictures, family pictures, moments I'd forgotten existed. I dropped to my knees, shaking. How? I whispered, they belong to us now. Vanessa's voice came from behind me. I turned slowly. She stepped into the candlelight. The blue flames leaned toward her as if pulled by her breath. Her dress brushed the floor silently, leaving faint dark streaks behind her. You're being recorded, she said calmly. Every bond must be witnessed. Bihu, primera, ask it. She didn't answer. Instead, she took one of the photographs and held it up. It showed me standing beside my mother when I was a child. I was smiling. She looked tired but happy. Vanessa touched the image. The photograph blackened slowly, starting from the edges, curling inward until my mother's face disappeared first. I screamed and grabbed her wrist. Pain exploded through my body. I collapsed forward, my forehead hitting the floor hard enough to blur my vision. You still hold too tightly to the living, she said. She crouched beside me and placed the burned photograph against my chest. The mark flared with heat, and I smelled flesh again. Every memory you keep will be rewritten, she whispered. I tried to push her away, but my arms wouldn't respond. My muscles felt distant, like they belonged to someone else. Vanessa leaned closer, her lips near my ear. They're coming to meet you soon. My stomach turned cold. Who is coming? She smiled, but it wasn't meant for me. The ones who witnessed your vows. The candles flared higher for a moment, their blue light flooding the room. For a split second, I saw shapes standing beyond the circle. Thin figures with faces that shifted like smoke. Watching. Counting. Remembering. When the flames settled, Te Werigone. Vanessa stood and walked toward the door. You should rest, she said softly. Tomorrow, they'll begin to recognize you. She left me there, kneeling among the photographs, surrounded by candles that refused to burn out. And as I stared at the images of my life, slowly darkening one by one, I realized something terrifying. I could no longer remember the sound of my mother's voice.